Okay, I'm going to go through how to make a little scale for this week's lab. So, to start, I've got a index card. So I just took an index card. You could use cardboard, you could use paper, but I folded it in half just to make it a little more rigid. And then I folded a little fulcrum. It's just basically a little teepee, but I put a flat spot, a kind of a ridge on there, and that makes it a little easier. Mr. England was showing me this trick. Makes it a little easier to get preliminary balance on your scale. And so it's not as hard. If you fold it with a point, then it's really difficult to balance. So this has some error in it, but it's still pretty good. Then I'm going to make this a little bit nicer to basically put things on and give it a little platform. So let's see if this works. I'm just going to take a little tape. And this is just a piece of notebook or a note card. So obviously it's a little heavier now on that side. Okay. Get it kind of balanced. It's pretty good. It's pretty centered on the 6. Okay, so I've got a scale now. Okay. Because many of you don't have one of these, which will measure in grams, we're going to measure in units of paper clips for this lab. We're going to decompose some baking soda. So this is what happens when you heat baking soda up to a high temperature, is it'll naturally break down and release gas and some different things that'll cause bubbles, make things fluffy. That's why we use it in baking, right? And so your job is to determine how much mass it loses, and we can actually relate that to the chemical reaction that's happening. So you need to make some Whey boats. Now, Whey boats, you have to manufacture them out of aluminum foil, because one of them will need to go in the oven. And the way you get them to weigh the same is you take a piece of aluminum foil and fold it over in half, and you cut out identical squares. So I've got, if I peel it apart, 2 identical pieces of aluminum foil, just to show you they should still stay balanced. Okay, so then you need to just fold them into some kind of a tray or a dish. So I just kind of, for my original set, I might have made these a little small. That's okay. You'll see how much baking soda we're going to use. I just kind of pinch the corners. Get a little dish. Fold up the edge. Pinch the corners. It just needs to hold paper clips and baking soda. So there you go. They don't have to look the same, but they're made out of the same amount of foil, so they should weigh the same, have the same mass. Okay, so now, here's what we're going to do. I want you to get approximately 6 grams of baking soda. And that's equivalent to, and I've got this Monsters Inc. spoon from Linus. It's maybe, like, what is that, a teaspoon? A heaping teaspoon? Maybe a tablespoon? Okay, and so, but what would be better is if you knew, I want you to get it to roughly 15 paper clips, because you won't have a scale. So here's what we do. You count out, 15 identical paper clips. So 1, 2, 3, count them out here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. You're going to put that on one side of the scale. It's obviously going to weigh it down. See if we can make it stay. There you go. Then you're going to add baking soda till it's equal in mass, or pretty close. Whoop. Now, hey, I'm doing something in chemistry you're not supposed to do, but since this is all just stuff from our kitchen and we're not in a chemistry lab, I'm actually gonna put some of this baking soda back. Okay. I think it's that one big lump in there. Hey. Okay. So I know that this baking soda is equivalent to 15 paper clips. Okay, the next thing to do is to carefully, without losing any baking soda, you want to try, I shouldn't have used that big chunk, you want to try and uniformly distribute this across the bottom of your dish. I could have made the dish a little bigger. Basically, if we have any big clumps or any big lumps of baking soda in here, it's going to have a hard time breaking down or decomposing in the oven. Okay, so I've kind of broken up that big chunk. I've got a nice maybe 1/8 inch thick or 1/4 inch thick layer on the bottom of my Whey boat. And I'm going to put this on a tray without spilling any. And I'm going to put it in a 400 degrees Fahrenheit oven. Okay, so 400 degrees, and I'm going to set a timer for an hour. If we were doing this in the lab, we do it with a Bunsen burner. You guys probably did it maybe in your physical science class. And you can do it in like 5 minutes in a Bunsen burner. It's much hotter. The decomposes much faster. But take this, I'll take it over to my oven. Let me get a little tray. Where's my little tray? It's a little wet. You can just do this on a cookie sheet. Okay, so that's 15 paper clips worth of baking soda. 400 degree oven for 50 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for, 60 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh, Alexa, cancel timer. Alexa, set a timer for 60 minutes.